He stood in the shadows of a building near the water tower district, watching the entrance, waiting for the chosen one to appear. The damp, cool night air settled in his bones. He was miserable but didn't dare give up, and so he continued to hide there, waiting and hoping for over 2 hours. Then he finally accepted that he had failed. Defeated, he climbed back into his jeep and headed home. Tears came into his eyes, so severe was his disappointment and shame. He heard someone sob, realized that he had made the sound, and impatiently wiped the tears from his cheeks. He couldn't stop shaking. He had failed. What would the demon do to him now? He sobbed again. And then, just as he was about to scream with the despair, the answer came. He saw the entrance to Conrad Park and suddenly knew the demon had guided him to where he needed to go. The jogging trail circled the university and the park in a perfect figure eight. He remembered seeing the diagram in the newspaper along with a long article about festival. The proceeds would go to some sort of charity, but he couldn't remember which one. "You'll find her here," the demon whispered. He was suddenly relieved. He found a perfect parking spot along the street next to the university. He pulled up beside a telephone pole. There was a poster for a coming race north of the city nailed to it. The poster showed a pretty young woman crossing a finish line. He started to open the door and then froze. He wasn't dressed properly. He'd worn his cheap but serviceable black suit with a white shirt and pinstripe tie because he thought he'd find her down by the water tower district, and he wanted to blend in with the other businessmen going home from work. He had stuffed a baseball cap in his pocket and planned to put it on once he started following her so that no one else on the street would be able to identify him after the fact. What should he do? Make the best of it, the demon hissed. He grabbed his briefcase and decided to act as though he were a professor at the university, walking in a hurry. It wasn't such a stretch. Yes, he could pull it off. The weather had turned foul again. It had rained hard every day for the past 4 days, but it was supposed to be clear tonight. The weatherman had obviously been wrong. Damn, he should have thought to bring his umbrella along. It was too late to get one now. Gripping the vinyl handle of the briefcase in his left hand, he walked quickly along the trail, trying to act as though he knew where he was headed. He walked for almost a mile, a fine mist covering his clothes. The urgency building inside him as he searched for the perfect spot. There were not many wooded areas, and he knew the specimen would be more cautious and watchful there. He wasn't too concerned that the mist would keep her away. Runners ran no matter the weather, and there was an important race to get ready for, he thought. Oh yes, he would find her there. But where should he hide? He kept on walking, looking for a good spot. New lights designed to look like old-fashioned gas lamps were spaced along the path about 20 feet apart, some even closer together near the back of a building he was approaching. A sign with an arrow pointing to the building indicated it was a lecture hall won't do, he muttered. Too much light for what he intended. His suit was soaked through, and still he continued on. What was that against the wall? He walked closer, stepped off the path, and then stopped. A shovel. Yes, that's what it was. There were three large holes along the side of the stones building where shrubs had been pulled out to make room for new ones. One of the workmen had obviously left the shovel behind, and a few other items as well. On the ground next to the shovel was an orange tarp folded haphazardly, and sticking out from one edge was a hammer. Rusty but adequate. He seized it, measured the weight, and gripped in his hand, and it held it close to his side. He hadn't thought to bring a weapon. He was strong, terribly strong, and he believed he could subdue any woman, no matter her size, with his bare hands. The hammer might make it easier to convince her not to struggle, but better safe than sorry, he thought. He walked around the curve in the path and gasped with excitement. A renovation was in progress. There was a pyramid of dead shrubs and trees, the roots like dried up octopus tentacles reaching into the path. The trash was waiting to be carted away. He looked around for signs of anyone who could see or hear, then picked up a rock and with his first speech brought the lamp to light nearest the pile. Still too bright, he decided, and threw another rock to break a second lamp. To break a second lamp. Perfect, he whispered. A perfect little nest. He kept thinking about those big, deep holes someone had thoughtfully left for him. A couple of them were on the south side of the building, but there were two more adjacent to the path with neon orange cones around them. Although he was wearing gloves, he still brushed his palms against his pants as he hunkered down behind a stack of foul-smelling, decomposing rot. His loafers sank into the mud. He gingerly placed the cheap attaché case on the ground next to him and took a deep, calming breath. His senses were heightened by adrenaline, and he was more attuned to his surroundings. He could hear every little sound, smell every musty scent. He heard the pounding of feet against the pavement as a runner approached. He smiled with satisfaction. Runners run no matter what. He scrunched down lower still and squinted through the triangular opening he'd made between the branches. He watched the spot under a bright light. He knew the runner would have to pass. Yes, the runner was indeed a woman. But was she the right woman? Was she the perfect chosen one? He couldn't see her face. She was looking down at the path as she sped along. He could see her slim, athletic body, though, and her thick dark hair pulled back in a ponytail.